Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to explore the ends of the Earth and even beyond. And we're going to do it all without leaving home. We are diving headfirst into the world of virtual tourism and how VR tech is completely changing what it means to travel.
So let me just start with a question for you. What if you could stand at the foot of an ancient wonder, witness a ceremony from a civilization that's long gone, and then, just for fun, float in zero gravity, looking down at our big blue planet, and do it all in a single afternoon? I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but this is the reality of virtual travel today.
Okay, so let's break this down. We all know physical travel is amazing, but let's be honest, it has its challenges, right? It can be super expensive, there can be physical barriers, and it has a real environmental footprint. Well, virtual travel offers a totally different way to do things. It's low cost, it's instantaneous, and it's sustainable. And here's the crucial part. It makes the world accessible to everyone, no matter their physical or financial situation. This isn't about replacing real travel, not at all. It's a powerful expansion of how we get to experience our world. So, here's our itinerary for this trip. First, we'll look at why VR travel is such a big deal. Then, we'll journey to some incredible ancient worlds, explore our planet's most vital ecosystems, and then really push the limits into the final frontiers of space and Antarctica. And finally, we'll wrap up by thinking about where your next journey could take you.
All right, let's kick things off. Virtual tourism is so much more than just a cool gimmick. It's a technology that is literally breaking down barriers and completely redefining what it means to explore. You see, this tech does a few really important things at once. I mean, sure, it's entertaining. Who doesn't want an adventure? But it's also a seriously powerful educational tool that brings history and science to life, right in front of your eyes. And maybe most importantly, it's an equalizer. It opens up the entire world to people who might never have had the chance to see it, all while letting us visit really fragile places without leaving a single footprint.
And now for our first stop, a little trip back in time. See, VR's real power isn't just showing us ruins as they are today, but digitally rebuilding them, letting us see history as it might have actually looked and felt.
And our first destination is one of the most iconic structures in all of history, the Colosseum in Rome. Just imagine standing in the heart of that ancient city, completely surrounded by its massive scale.
For this, we're using what is basically the foundation of virtual travel, Google Earth VR. It's essentially a 3D model of the entire planet. You can soar over continents or zoom right down to a single street corner. You know, as one user put it, you just can't compete with a game map that's literally the entire world.
And this quote from a user on Reddit, man, it just perfectly captures the magic of what we call presence in VR. It's not about looking at a flat picture, it's about being there, being able to answer a kid's curiosity by just saying, go ahead, look inside, and he can just lean in and do it. That's a moment you are never going to get from a textbook.
And just to give you a little context, what you're looking at is the Flavian Amphitheater, an absolute engineering marvel from the 1st century. For nearly 500 years, this place was the epicenter of Roman entertainment, everything from gladiatorial battles to massive public shows.
Okay, from the heart of a powerful empire, we're now traveling to a lost city way up in the clouds, Machu Picchu, perched high in the Andes Mountains of Peru.
For this expedition, we're switching apps to National Geographic Explore VR. Now, this isn't just about looking around. It's a fully curated adventure. The app actually puts you in the boots of a Nat Geo explorer who's on a mission. It feels like you've stepped right inside one of their famous documentaries. And here's what makes it so cool. Your assignment involves things like witnessing a digital reconstruction of an ancient Inca ceremony, you get to interact with alpacas, and you can even recreate the famous discovery photos that Hiram Bingham took. You're not just a tourist, you are an active part of the story of this 15th century marvel. Okay, for our next section, we're actually leaving human history behind to go explore the natural world. We're going to visit two of Earth's most critical and fragile ecosystems, places where VR gives us a way to experience them without leaving any trace at all. Our first stop is the largest coral reef system in the world, a vibrant, unbelievable underwater world just teeming with life, off the coast of Australia, the Great Barrier Reef. The app for this is called Ocean Rift, and you should think of it like a virtual aquatic safari park. It's actually one of the older VR experiences, but it's still one of the best for underwater exploration because it just fills the world with photorealistic marine life, everything from dolphins and sea turtles to absolutely massive whales. All right, from the depths of the ocean, we now travel to the lungs of our planet, the vast, dense, and incredibly important Amazon rainforest. Now for this, we're using a very different kind of experience. This one is called Tree, and it isn't a tour, it's an immersive story. By actually embodying the tree, you feel its life cycle in this incredibly personal way. It creates a kind of empathy that a normal documentary just can't quite get to. The story literally takes you through its entire life. You start as a tiny seed, you feel the struggle of growing up towards the light, you become this towering home for all kinds of creatures. And then, ultimately, you experience the tree's final fate. It's a really emotional and profound piece of environmental storytelling. All right, time for our final destinations. We are heading to the most extreme, the most inaccessible places you can imagine, places that really only a handful of humans will ever get to see with their own eyes.
First up, we're leaving the planet entirely. We're heading to the International Space Station as it orbits 250 miles above our heads.
And get this is not a simulation. The app, Space Explorer's Ultimate Edition, is a cinematic VR documentary that was actually filmed in space by real astronauts. It's this completely unprecedented look at life in zero gravity and the work being done for humanity's return to the moon.
This whole thing was filmed in 8K resolution, and what that means for you is a level of clarity and immersion that makes you feel like you are truly floating right there next to the astronauts. It has absolutely set a new standard for what VR documentaries can be. From the total vacuum of space, we come back down to Earth for our final stop, to the coldest, the driest, and most remote continent on the planet, Antarctica.
We're actually hopping back into the National Geographic Explore VR app for this one. And your expedition here is a real thrill. You get to kayak through this maze of giant icebergs, you climb a massive ice shelf, and you even have to try and survive a blizzard while you search for a lost penguin colony.
Now, the feedback on this app is pretty telling. Everyone agrees it is visually stunning. But a really common critique is that with only 2 locations, Machu Picchu and Antarctica, it feels a little unfinished, kind of like a demo. It's a perfect example of a super high-quality experience that just leaves you wanting more. So, we've traveled through time, we've dived into the oceans, we've floated in space. Let's just take a step back and wrap up by looking at the bigger picture of what this technology really means for all of us. If you take one thing away from this, it's this. VR is an educator, making learning feel real and exciting. It's an explorer, taking us to places we could never ever go otherwise. And most importantly, it's an equalizer, democratizing the whole experience of travel and discovery for people all over the world.
And honestly, we've only just scratched the surface today. From the bustling streets of Tokyo to the highest peaks of the Himalayas, there are just countless adventures waiting out there. And that really just leaves us with one final, exciting question for you. With the entire world now at your fingertips, where will you go first?